Market Share Communications, and today we are really excited to have Amy Delman of Amy Delman Public Relations as our special expert in Meet the Experts series. Hi Amy, how are you?
I'm great, Eileen. Thank you so much for having me here.
And we are thrilled to have you. So tell us all a little bit about Amy Delman and how you came to be Amy Delman Public Relations.
Okay, well, Amy Delman was in corporate America for 20 years. My last corporate job was a director of marketing, and I left to form my own small public relations consultancy where I could work with small businesses that could not afford in-house marketing and PR, but had great stories to tell.
And that we totally understand that, because that's similar to what we do in the marketing realm for small and middle market companies that can't afford their own in-house departments. So that's really great. Talk a little bit about what you do for your clients, what kind of services you offer, and that sort of thing.
Okay, I have all of the databases and all of the tools that the larger PR firms have. I have Cision Point, I have PR Newswire, I have Profnet. For my clients, I get them, my tagline is keeping you in the media. So I have them quoted in consumer and trade and newspapers. I have them on radio shows, on television shows. I arrange speaking engagements for them. I make sure they write so they can get published somewhere. I really do, with each client it's different. Mm-hmm. I try to capitalize on what makes them different from their competitor in the same industry, and go from there.
Excellent. And I know I've seen many of the things that you've gotten into the press for clients of yours, so that's really great. Do you work specifically with certain industries, or are you broad-based, or what's your sweet point?
It's funny because when I first started, I went to Joseph E. Seagram & Sons Marketing and Training Program, and I was very product oriented. They are a huge wine and distillery company. And when I moved to New Jersey, I worked for a modular construction, and that was when I got involved in services without a product, and I saw it was so different when you're selling a product than when you're selling a service. Yeah. For some reason, I got pulled into the accounting industry through not any plan, and basically became very familiar with professional services firms, and kind of that's my niche.
That's where your niche is. Yeah.
But I'm a generalist. I can really promote
do the public relations for pretty much any company.
Yeah, any
That's
company.
Great. Good. Talk to us perhaps about some case studies or anecdotes or something you'd like to share.
I have so many case studies. First of all, my clients are they're great. They are some very small companies for the most part. I do have some large national firms, but the small ones, I am their first introduction into PR, marketing, advertising, business development, networking. So it's like a sponge. It's like they can't do enough. They want to know everything. So I had a solopreneur financial advisor approach me, and I no way wanted to work with him because there's so many of them. And I thought, what could I do to differentiate this gentleman? And he's a small guy in Rockaway, and he dealt with a different type of clientele. His clientele were not your traditional clientele. They were older or younger, or they weren't generational. Anyway, make a long story short, he had some unique stories. I'm on my news wires, and I see a reporter is asking for a wealth advisor that is dealing with companies with novel problems they found a solution for. I knew my client had it, wrote up the query, and she was a cloaked reporter. She contacted me and she said, I'm interested. I want to do the story. I said, can you tell me the name of your outlet? She said, the Wall Street Journal.
Oh my goodness.
And that article came out. It pretty much made his career.
Wow.
He was approached by a retiring firm and he bought it. And he was approached by a smaller firm and he bought it. Wow. And now he has his own building in Rockaway.
That's a success story, people.
That's just one of them, but that was fantastic. Very exciting. Very exciting.
For sure.
There are other stories that some people would say are not a success, but they are for me.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, I was working with a business valuation firm, a medical business valuation firm, and they were very small, and I was getting them a ton of press because at that time in New Jersey history, hospitals were just starting to gobble up physicians groups.
Yep.
And they didn't know how to value them. So they were in demand and they were all over the place. We got a ton of press and a ton of physicians groups were calling them. They were just so busy, and they came to the attention of a national accounting firm that did not have medical business. So they bought them.
Wow.
But they didn't buy me.
Yeah.
So
we know that story too. We have similar stories.
It was great for my client.
Yeah.
I was thrilled and kind of put them on the map.
And you lost the
And
client.
I had to look for another client.
Yeah, we've had that happen several times.
But I love that.
We do too.
Yeah.
We're happy when a client comes to us and says, we've been approached. They said part of it is the marketing you've done. The website looks great. You're ripe for acquisition, and off they go.
Right.
And it's very exciting.
And you do feel excited.
Yeah.
And when you're lucky, and only when you're lucky, do you get a testimonial to that,
Yeah.
which I have, which
That's wonderful.
I'm thrilled, because it's people with public relations, it's very difficult. When I meet a prospective client, they're like, well, how long will it take you to get me into the Wall Street Journal? Seriously? How could I possibly answer that?
Yeah.
But I can show them the PR does work
Yeah.
in measurable ways.
Right, which is wonderful.
Yes.
That's great. And so when you work with your clients, you're working off-site, or are some of them having you come to the office for?
The larger firms, for my large accounting firm, I go there 1 day a week, a full day.
Okay.
For my large engineering firm, I have half-day meetings with them. I like to do them twice a month. It's not always possible because they are a national firm.
Yeah.
My smaller guys, I do a lot of emailing and a lot of phone calling, and I go there when they have a big interview.
Right.
I just had a small solopreneur. He doesn't even have an office. He works out of his house.
Yeah.
But he does really interesting things. And he was being interviewed, and he said, I don't want the guy coming to my house.
Yeah.
And I said, well, we could look for shared space. I work out of my house, and we tried some things, and he said, I'll have it done in my house, but I want you there.
Excellent.
So I went.
Good.
And we made it look like an office.
As does this.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's great. So many people are working off, at home, or like you say, shared offices. Mm-hmm. It's becoming more the way of the world, and so much virtual business is going on every day. So it's not really that big of a deal.
But
Years ago,
he was an older man who felt that he wanted. That he wouldn't look like he was a big
serious
company,
person,
even though he was, and he has a great service. Yeah. So by the time, and there was a radio interview, it came out really well.
That's great. That's great. Amy, so one more thing I want to touch on. I know that you work with a lot of professional services firms, and I know some, larger corporate clients, but I think you also have some experience with the not-for-profit side.
Yes, I actually work with a statewide agency that serves the developmentally disabled adult population, which really starts from 18 to 108.
Wow.
These people do everything from residential housing to integrate these people into the communities. I've been with them now for 7 years. I went through with them when they closed the Woodbridge Developmental Center and the Totowa Developmental Center.
Oh, I remember that.
And that was very controversial.
Yeah.
Parents and family members of these people were frantic, afraid that if they moved into community housing, they wouldn't get the medical support. Right. And now it's been so many years later, and not only do they get the medical support, but they're not institutionalized. They're in the community.
And that's really a plus.
It's such a plus. It's so heartwarming. And this organization does plays. As a matter of fact, they have an upcoming play called Annie Jr., where they have cast members both with disabilities and regular performers from the community. And it's
Isn't that nice?
very
That's
interesting
great.
that the feedback is that audience members cannot differentiate between who are the members and who are the performers that do not have disabilities.
Unbelievable.
They do
That has to give you great pleasure doing
it
that sort of
really does,
PR.
and the media just loves
I'll
it.
bet.
Oh, they help them find jobs. Walmart is a big supporter of hiring individuals with disabilities. ShopRite, a lot of the major corporations in New Jersey do make a point, because these people are such excellent workers.
That's what I've heard.
They show up on time. They are so appreciative to be given the opportunity to support themselves, to pay taxes, to contribute back.
Yeah.
They don't like the fact that they're told you have to be living here in this institution. So I've met with several of different people over the course of the last 7 years, and I've heard firsthand, and this organization that I promote is a very large advocate, always pushing the envelope, always trying to get more services.
Do you want to share the name?
Am I allowed? Sure.
By all means.
Community Access Unlimited.
Wonderful.
And they are headquartered in Elizabeth, but they are a statewide organization. And you know what? I love getting PR. I love generating awareness for my clients, all my clients. But when you see that you are really touching someone's life.
That's very special. Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
So we want to thank you today for being here.
Thank
this
you
was
so much.
great.
Yes.
And as much as I know you for I don't know how many years, it's a long time.
A long time.
I still feel like I learned something today from Amy. And if anybody out there is looking for a great public relations company, by all means, we're going to have Amy's your name and phone number up on this video, and please give her a call. And if you need marketing for your company, website development, we hope you'll give us a call. Have a great day.